Hello. Woo. And thank you for choosing me. I met my soulmate 22 years ago, and we're living happily ever after, and my career is wonderful. But we too are among the 11 million Americans that can't get married. We're two women. And I'm wondering what Abraham's take is on our efforts to have our relationship legally recognized by the country on a personal level, as well as what Abraham thinks about what our hopes are nationally. When the Pope campaigns and says our relationships are disordered, when religions split up, when one of us becomes a bishop, and when 34 of the states in the United States have established a state constitutional amendment that bars our relationships from ever being recognized. It hurts my soul and my heart that people think we're such bad people. And I spend a lot of time separate from my very rewarding career trying to create change. So I want to create change successfully. I want to be happy while I do it. It's scary when you go into a room and you think, well, golly, in every single state election, 60% of the people have thought I was immoral.
They don't like each other either. You see, what we want to say to you, because you ask us what we think, and our first words are, what anyone else thinks about what you're doing is irrelevant. And now we want to talk about how it is that you come to care about what they think of you. Why do you need to be validated through their eyes when their eyes have different intentions? Why would you set your well-being outside of your own tending to your own gap and lay it at the feet of someone else for evaluation or judgment? Anytime you say to anyone else, what you think about me matters to me, you're in trouble. For a number of reasons. First, they can never have walked in your moccasins enough to understand what your desires are to begin with. And next, it's not their job to line up with your desires, it's their job to line up with theirs. Now, we think what hurts you about this, we can tell you this unequivocally from the vibration of you that we feel, and we can tell you that the reason that you want this movement to be and the reason that you want to be of value to the movement is not because you need their validation in order to be in love, but you see them using you as their excuse to not allow themselves be who they are. In other words, they're using you as their excuse to push against, and in doing so, they're not in alignment with the source within them. And as they're not in alignment with the source within them, they're in pain, and you feel that you are the cause of their pain. Now, we'll start in an earlier place so that you can hear this more clearly. It starts.
'Cause I'm lost.
We know you are, but you're not really. And it's going to be so much fun when you line up with what we're giving you here. So,
okay.
Whether you realize it or not, almost all of you have all of your lives been trying to elicit positive response from those who are viewing you. Not because you needed the validation of their positive response, but because you are an uplifter and you love it when others are uplifted. You care about how others feel. But surely at this stage in your life, you've come to a conscious awareness from what you've lived that you can't stand on your head in enough different ways to keep them all happy.
Right.
It's time to give it up. So we don't believe for a moment that you need their validation in order to know your love. What is that stupid piece of paper anyway? What is it?
It is very important, and I appreciate your
Why?
realizing
Why?
that it's not about me trying to bolster
Why
my
is it important,
self-concept.
though?
It's important because the laws in the country support the health and longevity of marriages. Social Security, wills, the government taxes couples when they die, and in a way, well, they don't tax married couples, they tax us.
But wait,
and
that's
children
all
grow
shortage
up.
consciousness. Wait a little bit here. So Everyone's all worried about what the government will give them or about what the government will not give them as they pinch off their vortex of abundance and use the government and what it gives or doesn't give as their excuse to not allow the abundance to flow. Have you not heard us talking to you all day today about how as you live life, you've created your own vibrational escrow, and we promise you your government and Social Security are not the key to that?
Yes.
Do you know the abundance that flows to you? Have you seen the petty little pittance that they give you anyway?
Yes, I do.
It is ridiculous. It has nothing to do with the abundance that is you. Don't let their misunderstanding the value that is you be your excuse to pinch yourself off from the vast resources
But
that
how
have
do
been
you
amassed.
create change in the world? I mean, that's what I'm trying to do, is to create change. I'm very happy. I'm very wealthy. I'm very successful. I have a soulmate.
But hear what you're saying. You're saying, I do not like the way they're approaching life. So I want to change the way they're approaching life because I don't like the way they're binding me.
I want to change the laws.
But hear what you're saying. I don't like the laws, so I want to change them to something else. And then they'll say, and I don't like those laws, so I want to change them to something else. And you say, I want gay marriage to be legal. And they say, we don't want gay marriage to be legal. So the law goes this way and this way and this way and this way. And everybody uses the other guy as their excuse to not allow themselves to have the abundance that they would have if they would just get their nose out of everybody else's business.
But how does change happen then?
Change happens because as you see what you think is injustice, you ask for something different. And when you ask for it, it's given to you. And when you stop pushing against the opposition, what you ask for comes. But when what you're asking for is for others to do something different, and then you witness them not being willing to do it, then you hold yourself apart from the very change that your life has asked for. So most change happens very slowly when the resistant ones croak and new non-resistant ones are born.
Well, that seems to be about the pace that it's happening in.
Wouldn't have to be. You could free yourself from all of it right here this moment. You could lift from it and never be troubled by it again.
You know, Abraham, I am free from the damage that not having marriage does largely in my life.
Then who are you defending?
I'm not defending. I'm asking Abraham to advise about how best we can create a change in attitudes in the United States, at least, so that these laws can change.
Well, we can't guide you because you think that laws have to change before your attitude can change. And we want to say that your attitude can change and then the laws will change or won't. But when your attitude changes, the law changing becomes irrelevant. Because you got what you wanted without asking other people to change their behavior. You'll never be free as long as your freedom is contingent upon what somebody else does.
Well,
You'll only be free when you...
I mean, I have the freedom that
You're not free from the bondage of this discomfort, though. In other words, this is a struggle for you because you can't get them to understand you. And trying to get someone to understand something that they haven't lived, words don't teach. It's only life experience that teaches, you see.